All right, everybody. Well, thanks for being here. My name is Tony Procopio. I am logging in from New Fairfield, Connecticut. And if you're new to our team, welcome aboard. We have a lot of new people coming aboard at this time of the year. I think it's because of what we're doing and because of the holidays and just the start of the new year coming up. I think a lot of people are looking to add more income to their lives. They're looking to change some things in their lives. And it's funny. I was on ChatGPT and I asked it, what happens if you don't change anything in your life? And ChatGPT said, then nothing changes in your life. And I was like, yeah, pretty much exactly what it should be, right? So even the AI, all the AI out there knows that if you don't change something in your life, you are not going to change anything in your life. The more you do the same thing, the more you get of the same thing. And so, you hear the definition of insanity as well. You hear people talk about that. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. And that's so true in our business because there are a lot of people that are in our profession in the network marketing space, in the energy space, and they've been in this space for years. Some of them have been, well, I've been in for 10 years. I've been doing this for 3 years. I joined Think Energy 2 or 3 years ago when it first started. And they're going through motions, but they're not improving themselves. They're not getting to the cutting edge. They're not sharpening the axe. They say they have 3 years of experience, but what they have is they have 1 month of experience that they've been repeating for 36 months. And without changing or getting better or evolving, you're just going to keep doing that same thing. And I know this and I speak to this not just because of this industry and this particular company that we're, with Think Plus, but I come from a background of helping people get jobs. I've helped over 11,000 people get jobs. And when I look at their resumes and then I talk to them and I realize some of these people have been working at a job for 20 or 30 years, and they say they have 30 years of experience working, as a technologist, in the IT space. And then I look at what they've done and I start talking to them, and it turns out they have 1 year of experience and they just have repeated that same year 30 years in a row, and nothing has changed. They're just complacent. They're going through the motions. They're punching a ticket to get in and get through. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Is we're going to talk about how you can approach people with a life-changing chance for them, but not come on too strong and actually get the right message across to them so they actually look. So we're going to talk about that. Team update. Now, let's get talking about scripts for recruiting new EAs, right? Because you have to have some things that are happening in the background to make your invitations go the way you want them to go. And one of them is to have the proper mindset. Garbage in, garbage out. That's what that GIGO is, right? Or good stuff in, good stuff out. Which one are you going to be utilizing? I would go with the good stuff in, good stuff out, and take the garbage out. Don't put garbage in your brain. And think about getting a pattern, a repetition going, a consistency going. Like baseball players don't become good batters by not practicing every day. They take batting practice every day. So it's the same thing here. You're going to be terrible at the invitation. If you do one invitation a day, you're going to be terrible at it on the first one you do every day. Plain and simple. You get a repetition when you do more than one. Okay, so you're always going to be worse. The worst invitation you do is the first one of the day. And then as you do more and more, you get better and better throughout the day. So why would you take 1 minute and do one reach out a day? Why wouldn't you take 5 minutes and do 5 reach outs a day? Okay, keep 5 reach outs a day keeps the bill collector away. There's lots of ways you can say that, but that's what it comes out to. When you get into consistency, set up reminders to remind yourself to be successful, to remind yourself to reach out. Everybody's got these phones, right? Everybody has a phone. You have a reminder on there. Use your alarm clock. Use your reminder on your calendar, or on your task list to remind you to reach out to 5 people today. And at what time? Set it up. Have positive affirmations to set your tone. Be saying good things to yourself like, man, every time I reach out to somebody before I do it, whether it's text or phone or whatever, email, whether it's direct message, whether I'm calling them, whatever it is, I always make it a point to get myself in the right mindset. Okay. And say to myself, you know what? This person, I could be potentially reaching out to them. They're most likely living a quiet life of desperation, a life of quiet desperation, praying for something to change their lives. And I am calling them now with something that can do that. Like, that's what I say to myself. I'm about to change someone's life. Now, it's up to them if they want to do it, but I'm going to bring the change to them. It's up to them to take advantage of it. So text people, text them, just text to set up a quick call. Hey, I need to run something by you. I need to get your opinion. Do you have a minute to talk? I love to do that and then get on the phone with them. So, and then I'll send them some information. I like them to feel like they just heard. I personally reached out to them and made it more important than just a text. I texted them to ask them for a moment of their time because this is important. This is what we have. I love to do that. You know, even if I'm on LinkedIn with somebody that I don't know that well, I'm like, hey, listen, I need to run something by you. Here's my phone number. Feel free to give me a call, text me, whatever. Let's set up a time for a quick, like 1 or 2 minute call. Just need to run something by you. Would love to hear your voice, meet you, whatever it is. It makes it something special. And I say that because, you know, I come from the recruiting industry, helping people get jobs. And let me tell you, when you can bring something personally to someone and put a personal touch on that contact, it is much better than just electronically doing it. Okay, when you can talk to someone on the phone, it breeds more trust. And if you can meet them face to face, it breeds even more trust. So if you're in the same vicinity, my gosh, you should get together with those people face to face for sure. You know, we have the BAM app. I'm going to assume that everybody on this call, if you're serious about doing this business, you have to be using our BAM app. You have to go and get the app and activate it through your web office. You download it on your phone and then you activate it through your web office. Don't activate it on your phone like through the app. Go and activate it through your web office. And the reason I say that is because we get the pro version. It costs $15 a month for this thing. We get it included. That's $180 it would cost you to use this if you just went not through Think Plus. But we're going to give you the $180 a year version for free in your enrollment as an EA. And sending videos out to people and being able to track them through the custom web pages, the custom pages link, tab is the best thing that you can do. You need to know when people are looking at things, when they're actually clicking on it and watching it. You know, last week we talked about being honest about the holidays. At this time of the year, holiday spending is higher than ever. Credit cards are filling up. Bills don't take vacations. Almost everybody I've talked to hundreds of people in the last month, and just literally I haven't had anybody say that they want to have that their 2025 was so good that they want to have the same exact year again in 2026. No one. Everybody said, I want it to be better in 2026. No matter how good it was or how bad it was, they all want something more in 2026. But most people have no idea where to start. They don't have an opportunity that can change their lives the way this can. So we're going to help people lower their bills. That's another thing. Keep this is all mindset stuff. We're helping people lower their bills. We become certified energy advisors. We're not selling anything. There's no inventory. There's no pressure. These are real services that people already want and already need. J. Paul Getty, one of the first self-made, whatever, millionaires or billionaires, the Getty gas station, right? J. Paul Getty, back in the day, he said, here's how you become wealthy. Find something that people need and want every single day, and they can't live without it, and bring it to them at a better price, and you will become wealthy. That's it, you guys. That's it. That's what we're doing. Our major growth with Texas, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Ohio, New Jersey, Delaware, DC, and more states in 2026, we're going to have massive growth with all of our opportunities between autosave and virtual power plants with the batteries, our thermostat program, community solar. What are they going to throw at us next? When we started this company, we weren't even in community solar. We didn't have thermostats. We were not looking at batteries. We didn't have that program. We didn't have autosave. These four things, we didn't even have these when we started. Think about that. We're a completely different business than when we started just 2.5 years ago. All of our competitors, they're stuck in energy deregulation, like the old school stuff. Yeah, we still do that in some of the states, but we have incredible opportunities that have nothing to do with that, right? So don't be this person, okay? Don't be this person that's trying to harpoon people. A lot of people, they get super motivated and they come on too strong. And people see that. They get all of a sudden you're acting like you're desperate. I'm trying to get every single person to join my team and get them to join. I'm going to get every person to join. You know what? I would say, no, you're not. You might talk every single person into joining, but you're going to be wasting your time with a lot of people who join because you made them join. You convinced them to join. And then when you convince them to join, now you have to convince them to go and get a customer. And you have to convince them to come to a meeting. And you have to convince them to get their BAM app. You have to convince them to even look at their web office. Are you kidding me? You want to work with the right people. Okay, so you're looking for the right people. Planting seeds at the holidays. We talked about all these things, saying, hey, now's not the time, but I have something to share with you after the holidays. And when you say that to somebody today, they go, well, why don't you share it with me now? Oh, great. You want to take a look now? I thought you'd be busy. Oh, no, I'm not that busy. I have something cooking for 2026. I'd love to share it with you later. When you say that to someone, they'll start to say, well, why don't you share it with me now? This is this is psychology of people that we're talking about here. How people react to things, right? Something fell in my lap recently and it looks promising. I'd love to get you some info later after the holidays. And then the person says, why don't you send it to me now? Oh, great. Are you looking to get something set up before the holidays? Yeah, let's do that. You can even do the alternative close on that. Hey, listen, something fell into my lap recently, or I have something cooking for 2026, and it looks promising. I would love to share it with you either later after the holidays or before if you're open to taking a look now. Now you give them one or the other and find out what their temperature is. You tell people when somebody says, what you're doing, you say, hey, my job is going well. And somebody asks, how's it going? You should be ready. People always ask that question. How are you? Hey, how are you? Hey, how's it going? That's what you say. You should be ready to hit them with something good instead of just saying the same old, same old. Like the amateur in our business, when somebody says, how's it going? They go, oh, it's going great. How are you? No, you guys, you've got something going on. Somebody says to you, how's it going? You should be saying, oh man, my job is going well, but what I'm most excited about is my part-time energy business, my part-time side hustle, my part-time gig, because it looks like it's going to be paying me more next year than my full-time thing does right now. So how's it going for you? And go right back to them. You guys, everybody should be ready for that. Don't ever say, I'm doing okay. So the amateurs in our business that aren't prepared on a daily basis, they've been putting too much garbage in, and so garbage is coming out. So they're sitting there saying, when somebody says, how's it going? They go, same old Monday. Oh, it's hump day. Oh, TGIF, right? Oh yeah, I can't wait. Oh, I got the Sunday night blues coming. Can't wait for the weekend. No. It's the strong end. It's not the weekend, right? You have to have something that people want. When someone asks how it's going and then you hit them with this, they're going to instantly light up, okay? And if they don't, it's not who you're looking for. Dude, that's not who you're looking for right now. I use this as a sorting thing. If somebody said this, if I asked somebody else the question, how's it going? And they came back with this to me. Well, my job's going well, but what I'm most excited about is my part-time thing. It's going to pay me more part-time in 2026 than my full-time thing pays me. And if I don't say to them, really, what are you doing? I'm an idiot, right? I'm the fool. Okay. I'm not going to find out what they're doing. I'm not ready. So this is a sorting tool, you guys. Have this mentality, right? Planting seeds. Hey, you don't need another job. You need another income stream. And anytime somebody says to me, I say, what do you do? And then they tell me what they do. I say, well, what else do you do? They tell me their full-time job, and that's what they do. They define their whole life based on their job. Like that's what they were put on this planet to do. Sit in an office and punch tickets or write things or whatever. That's, and I say to them, I say, oh, that's really great. You have a great job, sounds like. So what else do you do? What other income streams do you have? You're spending your time, obviously, getting because you're looking to make money there, but what other income streams do you have? And then they say, oh, no, that's all I do. I say, are you kidding me? That's all you do? That's like insanity. I mean, you like living life on the edge, huh? You like being risky. You're one of those risk takers. You probably don't wear a seatbelt when you're in your car. You don't buckle when you're on the plane either, probably, right? You're just living with one income stream. Are you kidding? What if your company goes under? What are you going to do? What if they eliminate your job? What are you going to do? I'm like, are you kidding me? That's what people used to do back in like the 1950s and 60s and 70s when you could work for one company and they take care of you forever. That doesn't exist anymore. That's like way old. Like that's before year 2000. You need another income stream. Would you be open to looking at a 2-minute video? Would you be open to? This is a great question. Would you be open to? No, I'm closed. Like if somebody says, would you be open to? And they say no, they're saying no, I'm closed. That's not who you're looking for. Would you be open to taking a look at a 2-minute overview? Would you be open to learning how we get paid? Would you be open to seeing if this could be a fit for you? Again, you don't need another job, you need another income stream. This is all mentality stuff. So now we know from our trainings that we do every Saturday, it's a great thing to be brief, be in a hurry, to compliment people and invite them to take a look, to say something good about them. Hey, I like your attitude. One of my favorite things, you guys, to do when I'm talking to people, and I pause on it. I'm pondering it. I'm thinking about the person when I say it. It's genuine, okay? And I'm not doing this for every person, but when I really like somebody, like I like you. And I'll sit there and I'll say, I really like you. You know why I say that? I like your attitude. Complimenting people is a big deal. People don't get complimented at their jobs very often. And don't talk too much. Let the tools do the work. And you text and you say, hey, do you have a second? I'm glad I caught you really quick. I'm in a hurry. I need to run something by you, I need you to see. Do you have 90 seconds to look at a video? Looks like we might be able to make some money together. Together. I'm looking for 3 key people who can capitalize on this. 3 key people who can capitalize on this. That's what I'm looking for right now. Here's the thing. Again, from the way the world works, if you don't tell people what you're looking for, you're not going to get what you're looking for. I'm looking for 3 key people: money motivated people who have a sphere of influence, people who are trustworthy. They have integrity. They're coachable. That's who I'm looking for. I'm looking for people like that. If you tell the world what you're looking for. That's why people go on LinkedIn and they put what they're looking for. They put up on LinkedIn their whole life, of their whole history of their career, and they tell people what they're looking for because they're looking for something more. That's what it is. You have to tell people. You can have first mover advantage in your network. That's all great. These are all great things. And we all know that not everybody's going to join, but you have to sort through people to get to the right people so that you're not spinning plates. You're looking for people who are looking for you. You should write that down. You're looking for people who are looking for you. See, I'm looking for people that are just like me. Okay? If you're not, honestly, I got to tell you, if you're doing this the right way, there are going to be people that you're going to say to them, if you are actually following what I'm going to talk to you about and what we've started talking about, if you're actually doing this and sorting through 5 people a day, at least 3, 5, whatever it is a day, you're talking about 130 people a month. You're talking about, 1,500 people a year. If you're not telling some of those people that I'm sorry, this is not for you, and moving on, you're not doing this the right way. You have to be increasing your posture by telling people, listen, I'm sorry, this is not for you. When you don't hear the right thing, you need to move on to the next person. Okay? Don't try to convince people to do something that they're not willing to do themselves. Very important. scripts to get people to take a look, right? So, hey, Sarah, I came across some information. Here are some scripts. These are great. You can change the words up. Don't be a robot. Utilize this, work it out with yourself. Think about it. Talk to your spouse, your significant other, talk to your business partners and see how you can tweak it for yourself. Talk to ChatGPT, get some ideas. Why not? Hey, Sarah, I came across some information about a company with proprietary tech in the energy sector. Not sure, but you might be able to take advantage. Are you open to taking a look? Great lead in, you guys. How about this one, Lisa? I found a company that's about to expand nationally with technology that no one else has in the energy sector. They're owned by a $200 billion public company. We have a press release detailing that. We have a press release that shows we got a $100 million capital commitment from Oak Tree Capital, which is owned by Brookfield, and they had a stake. Brookfield had a stake in the company, and so did Oak Tree Capital. And now we have a new press release that came out after we've been in business 2.5 years. Turns out the parent company, Brookfield, $200 billion publicly traded company, turns out they love what we're doing so much. They said, we want all the shares that's left, all the parts of the business that's left that Oak Tree Capital have. We're going to acquire the entire thing. So great. We're still owned by the same lineage, but now Brookfield has the entire thing, and that's a good thing for our company. You want to be owned by the biggest company you can find in the energy sector so that you can do things like buy energy the next month to make sure that you're not out of business. Okay, I've been in energy companies that were not backed by the right company. They didn't have the right investors. They didn't have the right, had B, C, and B level investors, and they didn't have the right clout in the industry, deep enough pockets. And when weather patterns came through, it took them out of business. But now we're owned by probably the biggest company you could be owned by in the energy sector. There's nobody else like us. Deep pockets. It allows us to do things like go and create a battery program where these batteries that we're going to be bringing onto people's homes in Texas to start, these things are worth $20, $30, $40,000. And we're going to put them on the person's home at no cost to them. You realize that we have to buy that battery to do that. Okay, you have to have deep pockets to do that. That's one of the reasons why we have the battery program. Technology and backing, plus leadership and our network. All these things coexist together and have now allowed us to do something that nobody else is doing. So, hey, it might be a way for us they're not looking for investors. I love to say that to people because I'm not looking for your money. Might be a way for us to intro this to our networks and be first to market, possibly earn more part-time than we do full-time. Do you think I should send you some information? I love to say that to people. You should too. Sometimes I like to say to people, hey, now that I caught you really quick, might be a way for us to make some money. Then maybe earn more part-time than we do full-time. Should I send you some info or should I just flush that idea and you forget that I ever called you? I love to let people, I want them to take that when they say, and I've had people say, yeah, don't send me the info. Let's just flush it and forget we talked about it because I'm busy. I'm not looking. I'm like, I go to them. That's great. Because what I just said to you and your reaction just saved me and you a whole bunch of time. And I get off the phone and I say to them, I'll follow up with you in a couple months or 3 or 6 months to see if anything changes on your end. Okay. And to let you know how it's going with what I have going on. Is that okay with you? I've never had anybody say, no, don't check back with me to see if anything changes. Are you kidding me? Every person in the world, if somebody ever says to you, don't check back with me ever to see how I'm doing. Okay. Run from that person. Do not work with that person. Okay. Put them at the back of your list. Follow up again and see if anything changes, but not right now. If they say, no, don't follow up with me and see how it's going for me, they're not a good human being. You guys, they're not. But that's not who you're looking for. Or they're just having such a terrible day. And you know what? I've had people that said that to me and I'm like, great. Don't follow up. I've never actually had anybody say, don't follow up with me. I had one person say, I don't know, maybe you can follow up with me. And then I called him back like 6 months later or 3 months later, whatever it was. And I said, hey, remember when I asked you, is it okay if I follow up with you? in 3 to 6 months to see how you're doing. And you said, I'm not sure. Maybe you should. Maybe I don't think so, or I'm not sure. I just wanted to call just to find out if it was that just a bad day for you and I happen to catch you on that day, or are you always like that? And she goes, my gosh. She said, when I said that to her, she was like, you know what? I'm probably like that a lot of days. So I can't honestly say that it was a bad day. It was probably an average day. She's like, I'm just so caught up in stuff and it just messes with my head. I'm so on deadlines and this, that. She's like, I'm just trying to get through all the time that I just dismiss certain things. She's like, and I apologize for that. And she apologized. And I said, hey, no big deal. And you know what? I didn't try at that moment to get in there. I said, no problem. I just wanted to check back with you to make sure that if I check back with you in 3 or 6 months from now, it would be okay to do that to see how you're doing. I just wanted to find out. And she said, and I said, so that was the purpose of my call. I appreciate it. I'm going to let you get back to your day. And she goes, oh, no, wait a minute. So what exactly are you doing? You guys, this is what you learn when you're out there doing it, but you're also doing things like reading positive books that are all about people skills, like we talk about. This is what helps you do things, okay, with this business. You wonder why some people are X Games qualified because they've had things in their lives that they've done that made them that way, or they're constantly getting better by reading themselves into success, by listening themselves into success, by sitting in our meetings, by going to Empower 25, by getting on Zoom calls where they get more and more information as they're going. Guys, here's one. Mike, there's an innovative platform that's reshaping the energy sector. It allows companies, organizations, and individuals. I love that because that could be churches, it could be anybody, to get guaranteed savings on their electric bills. Nothing to buy or sell. And it's early, so we can have first mover advantage in our networks. Listen, I can't promise you anything. So now you're taking it away. You just said there's something going on, innovative, blah, 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 it's really good. And now you're actually taking it away from them by saying, listen, I can't promise you anything, but it could mean a lot of money for you. Should I loop you in? Or should we just forget I ever called you? I mean, you guys have fun with this. Do your own little experiments with people to see which ones have a heartbeat, which ones are breathing, which ones are dead, which ones are going through motions. They're just waiting for their grave because they're just going through the motions on a daily basis. Find the people who are moving forward in their lives. How about this one, Ed? There's a state law that recently passed allowing companies and individuals to get up to 25%. Now you can say up to 30% with Maine. Guaranteed credits on their electricity bills. My gosh, companies are paying a lot of money to the people who help them get the word out about this program. I just found this out. I'm in. I'm all in. Should I shoot you some info? Great thing to say. I mean, if you came to that when I was having a down day, in my previous career, I'd be like, wow, that's interesting. Not selling anything, like guaranteed credits. I'm like, what is this? I would be wondering, yeah, sure, send me some info. I'll take a look. Mary, I need to tell you about something before anyone else does. God, that's a good one. Hey, Mary, I need to tell you about something before anybody else does. And then just wait for oh, really? What is it? There's a window open in the energy sector for us to step in and make some upfront and long-term residual income. 99% of the population is still unaware. When can you check out a short video or use the if I would you? If I sent you, like you learned this, if you read the GoPro book by Eric Worre, you already know this. It's a part of your persona. If I sent you a short video, would you watch it? I love utilizing the if I would you. I did the if I would you with somebody as a prospect. I said, if I sent you a short video, would you look at it? They said yes. I said, great. And I said, well, great. If I followed up with you after you watched it, would you pick up the phone? And they said, yeah. I said, great. And if I followed up with you after you watched it and we were on the phone, would you give me your honest opinion about what we're doing? Would you actually take a look and be able to have a conversation with me about it? And they said, yeah, I would. And those if I would you. And when I followed up with the person, they weren't ready to get started. I got them on a 3-way call. And I said, if I can get one of my business partners on the line with you to answer some of your questions, would you talk to him? He said, yeah. So we did. And he still wasn't ready to get started. And so I said, then I was like, well, if I sent you some research info, like actual facts from real news sources, if I sent you some research info that would save you a lot of time researching, would you look at it? And the person said, yeah, I'd look at it. And they did. And then they joined. So if I would use them into the business, if that's even a thing. Joe, a friend of mine, introduced me to a cutting edge group in the energy sector recently. I partnered with them not as an investor. I've made significant income and I'm doing it part time without interfering with my day job. And the best part, I'm not selling anything. Should I bring you up to speed? You guys, if somebody's looking and that's the message you give them, they're going to be interested. Okay? If they're not interested, there's something wrong with them. Or they're just fully complacent. They're like, they already have enough money in their life and they're not looking for any more. I love to say that to people too when I'm talking to them. I love to ask people, even right after I do any of these things, I say to them, what we're talking about is making some money here. So what I want to know is, do you already have enough money in your life? Like, you don't need money anymore. You have enough money in the bank. You have enough money set aside. You don't need to work for it anymore. You're not looking for any money in for the rest of your life. Do you already have enough money for the rest of your life and you're not looking for anything else? It's important to me because if you're not looking to make some money, I don't know if this is going to work, right? Because they need to be looking to make something. They need to have something more. They need to have a dream. They need to have something that they're looking to do, and this business would enable them to do it. So it's okay to say that to people. I've had responses. One time I had a guy say, "Yeah, I'm not looking for anything. I've got enough money. My financial planner says I'm good. I don't need to work for the rest of my life. We're good." And I'm like, great. Would you still be open to taking a look at a business idea if it might be not good for you, but good for somebody you know? He goes, sure, I'll take a look. So there's always, if anybody ever gives a dead end to you, just go, well, this might actually not be for you, but maybe you should take a look so you can actually point me in the right direction. See, a lot of times in the recruiting space, I learned this in regular recruiting and I learned it in this industry and I learned it through books and through working this. And I'll tell you, when you indirectly recruit someone, by saying to them, hey, this is not going to be for you, but I'd like you to take a look at it because there's a 70% chance this is not for you. I like to say that to people right up front. Okay, we'll talk about that in a sec. And then I like to say to them, but here's the thing. There's 100% chance that after you look at this info, you're going to know the exact person that I'm looking for, and they're looking for me. And you're only going to know that and be able to put them together and become a matchmaker if you look at this quick video. After you watch this video, it's going to become crystal clear who in your life you should be connecting me with. Okay, just like if you sent me something and I looked at it and it wasn't for me, I would start thinking, who do I know that this would be for? And I'd connect you with them. So it's okay to start saying that to people. How about this one? Jim, keep your day job for now. There's something you need to see. It might be a game changer. If I sent you a quick video, would you watch it? That's a great text even. If somebody texted me that and I was having a bad day at my job or a boring day at my job or a mundane day at my job, ho hum, I'd be like, pooh, what do you got? Kim, one of my good friends introduced me to some very successful people in the energy sector. They're making money 24/7, 365. And now I'm making money too every time someone flips on a light switch or charges their cell phone. They're a private company owned by a $200 billion public company, so they're not looking for investors. They have a unique partnership model. Are you open to taking a look? These are great, you guys. Hey, Jay, I find myself in the very fortunate position to be making money while I'm sleeping. Guys, that's a true statement. Even if you only have one customer and it's just yourself, you are making residual income. You're making $1 a month. You're making 3 cents a day, 3.3333 cents a day. And every time you wake up, you are 3.3333 cents wealthier than when you went to bed. And that's better than 99% of people who have a job. They don't wake up wealthier. They wake up having to work for more. And I'm grateful because I'm getting sick of the grind. There might be a way for you to do the same. See, there might be. I can't promise you anything, but Jay, are you open to previewing some information? The word previewing, it makes it so that you're not the person with the harpoon trying to get them. Are you open to previewing? Oh yeah, and by the way, we're not looking for investors. You just throw that in there. Here's another one. Hey, Bob, do you know any electricians? Why would you say that? Well, because we have people who were going to be doing home battery installs in the state of Texas in March with our new program. And electricians know people at the home level and they work at the electricity level with those people. They could join your team right now. I mean, yeah, they can do installs and things like that maybe in the future when we have a referral program, but that's not what it's about. It's about getting them on your team now as an EA so they can start bringing in customers now, make money now, not well, just go after them to become an installer for who would just do that? That's insane. You want them to come aboard as an advisor. How about, do you know any insurance agents? You guys, I was talking to somebody on the phone yesterday. I asked him how he's in Texas. Somebody put him on a three-way call with me. I said, how many insurance clients? He owns an insurance agency. I said, how many homeowners insurance policies do you have? He said, I have 14,183. I was like, what? Like, you know that? He's like, yeah, I'm looking right at it on my board right now. I have a ticker that shows how many customers we have. He's like, I have 14,183 people that buy homeowners insurance from me. I was like, well, that's a great answer. I said, you might be able to do something with this. I'm not sure if it'll work out or not, but how many of those people that are your homeowners that are paying you insurance every month, they're buying this from you every month. How many of those do you think would want to have a free whole home battery backup for their home at zero cost to them? That if the power goes out in Texas, their lights won't go out. Their air conditioning will stay on. Their internet won't go down. How many of he goes, I think every single one of them would want to do it. Why? And I said, you need to take a look at this information about our battery program. He wasn't brought up to speed on that yet. So now he's moving forward. How about rooftop solar people? We had a guy join the other day, a rooftop solar guy. This guy he and his company do 200 to 250 installs every month of rooftop solar all over America, most of it in Texas. Okay, now that's not that interesting for our battery program in Texas because it's not going to really work with rooftop solar most likely. It's not who we're looking for. But what I can tell you is that I asked him this question. I said, so you do 250 installs a month. How long have you been doing that for? He's like, about 10 years. And I said, so for every 200 installs that you do every month, how many appointments do you do that they don't turn into customers? He said about 600 to 800. So I said, so you're telling me that you have 200 installs that are homeowners and you have another 600 to 800 that are also homeowners, but they didn't do solar because they couldn't do it. Their credit wasn't good. Their roof didn't face the right way. They didn't like how it looked, too many trees in the way. The roof wasn't the right substructure. He said, yeah, there's like 600 or 800. Every time we do 200 installs, we have 600 or 800. And he said, dead leads. And I said, how about how many of those people that are homeowners that were going to pay for a rooftop solar system, how many of those 600 a month do you think would want to have a free battery backup system from you for their home? And he was like, every one of them. And I said, how many of them do you think would qualify for it? Like they have an average credit score or above. He says, probably all of them. That's why we met with him. And I was like, are you kidding me? The guy joined right on the spot. Okay. Realtors, home cleaning companies, it's the same thing. How about this one? Phil, we're first to market on an upcoming home battery program in Texas. We're doing something no one else has ever done before, providing free whole home battery backup systems so people won't lose electricity when the power goes out. These systems are normally $20, $30, $40,000, and there's a ton of money in it for people who get the word out. We don't know what it's going to be, but what we do know is it's going to be our most lucrative thing. Okay, so should I shoot you some info, Phil? How do you say no to that? How about Monica? Have you ever thought about being your own boss? Being your own boss. That should be a your. Have you ever thought about being your own boss? You guys, it's just amazing what we have our hands on here. It's just incredible what we have our hands on now. I may have a way for you to do that without quitting your day job and with little investment of time and money. Best part, it has a residual component to it, like how insurance agents and financial planners and songwriters and singers get paid month after month after month for doing something one time. And get this, you won't be selling anything or asking anyone for money. You guys, this is gold, right? This is just gold material here. How about this one, Jesse? Imagine if time and money were no longer an issue in your life. In other words, if you had all the money you ever needed and time wasn't a problem, what would you be doing? And then you let Jesse share the dream. Jesse shares his dream with you, or her dream with you, and then says, well, this is what I would be doing. I'd be traveling all over, the world, going here, going there, taking my spouse with me, my kids. Okay, great. If I could show you a way that you could travel all over the world with your spouse and your kids doing what it is that you want to be doing instead of what you're doing now, if I could show you a way that you could do that, would you want to see it? Would you want me to tell you? Or would you just want me to flush it and forget we ever talked? Larry, have you ever been in the right place at the right time? That's a great way to start off a conversation. He'll say, yeah, well, I remember, but I didn't do anything about it. I was at the right place at the right time when Amazon launched, but I didn't invest. Joe, you seem like a very sharp person with a good business mind, and my radar is always on for matching good people up with potential game changers in their lives. So if I had something that fit into your time schedule and the money looked good, would you be open to taking a look? Guys, these are all good things. How about this one? Hey, Paul, and this is where I go. Hey, Paul, Paul, I really like you. I like your attitude. I like your outlook. And I've been showing a business plan to people recently, and it's been very lucrative. The thing is, 7 out of 10 people that I've talked to, they are either not qualified, they're stuck in their ways, they're complacent, they're lazy, or they're just plain boring. Have you ever met anyone like that? And they laugh. Yeah, I have. Yeah, let me tell you. And we laugh, right? I said, but here's the thing. 3 out of 10 are looking for better or more in their lives. More time, more freedom, more financial independence, more money. Would you be open to finding out if you're one of the 3 or one of the 7? And then I smile at them. I can't tell you how many times people go, yeah, send it over. That's pretty funny. You made it. You made their day. You made them smile. You made them laugh. You made them laugh at boring, lazy people. That's a fun thing to do. It makes sense to everybody. Dave, I'm looking for a go-getter. Hey, Dave, I'm looking for a go-getter type. I like to slow things down, guys. I'm looking for somebody that like stands out from the crowd, that kind of type. They're better than their peers. I'm looking for like the waiter or waitress that's better than all the other ones. Have you ever met anybody like that? Like, do you know anyone like that? I'm looking for those people. Why are you looking for those people? I got a part-time business project that I'm working on. And you know what? I'm more excited about it because it's going to pay me more in 2026 than it did in 2025. And it's part-time. It's more than I'm going to make at my job. Full-time. You can start combining all these things. Hey, Brian, I'm about to show a large group of heavy hitters a business plan. I just did this yesterday, this exact one. And I just wrote it now because I did it yesterday. I'm about to show a large group of heavy hitters a business plan. Brian, and this Brian guy is way above my level. This guy earns, I mean, from a socioeconomic standpoint, he thinks that he's here, and I know he thinks that I'm here. Like, he makes many millions of dollars a month. I don't make that yet, but we're going to change. We're going to be changing that. I'm creeping up on this guy. We're all creeping up on this guy. But I said to him, would you let me practice on you and then critique me and the business plan? Like, maybe give me some pointers on how to improve. Would you help me out and do that for me? He said, sure. When do you want want to do it? So I set up a Zoom meeting with him. He's going to look at the plan, which is the focus. I don't care how you get people to look, get them to look. Hey, Dave, that's another one. Hey, Eric, let's make a deal. Hey, Eric, how long have we known each other? 10 years. Great. Listen, if you come across anything that looks good, where we can buy back our time or make more money or both, how about you agree to tell me about it? Like you agree you have to tell me about it. He says, okay. I said, okay. And if I come across the same thing, I agree that I'm going to tell you about it. Do we have a deal? And he says, yeah, deal. 2 days later, you call him back and you say, hey, Eric, you're not going to believe this. I came up with something. I found something that fits our deal. That's what you say, and that's supposed to be, I found something. I found something that fits our deal. Whoops. Okay. So that's what you do. Pretty simple. When you look at this, it's just amazing what you have your hands on, you guys. How about this one? Hey, Grace, not sure if you heard, but I'm now a certified energy advisor. Then you go into the thing that we talk about. I'm certified to help people save money. I'm on their electricity bills. I can do this, I can do that. And I also make money in the process. Hey, which one would you be interested in, Grace? Would you be interested in saving money or making money? Or would you be interested in both? The alternative close. Hey, Kelly, I was in a meeting the other day and we were talking about committed, hardworking people of integrity. People who, if we were setting up like $1 billion company, we'd want on our board of directors. And when we were talking about that, your name popped into my head. You just paid Kelly a major compliment. And then you go right into whatever invitation you want. I'm working on a project right now. Would love to get your opinion on it. Not sure if it's for you, but would you be open to take a look at something? If you complimented Kelly like that and then she said no to not taking a look for you, she's the wrong person in this conversation. Okay. She's the evil one. I mean, that's plain and simple. That's what it is. She's wrong. And utilize the last one I'm going to share. Look, this is what we did today we're just scratching the surface. Okay. I'm going to continue to bring more scripts every week through December. We're going to have more ways to reach out to people than anybody could have ever possibly put together when you string all of these together. We're going to make ourselves the most Rootin, Tootin. We're going to make ourselves the Rootinest, Tootinest, Recruitinist machine that exists in America because of what we have and because we know how to say things to people to get them to look. Utilizing these states and asking people, do you know anyone in any of these states? This is another one. We're going to talk about that further on the next call and other ways. We're going to talk about organizational, how to get to organizations, how to get to business owners, how to get to the top of the top. We're going to talk about that. So you guys, I appreciate you being here. It has been my profound pleasure to share with you this information. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do, one of my favorite things to talk about. And I know there's some comments in here, so I appreciate it. Hey, Steve, let's see. Steve, as long as expansion doesn't include lotions, potions, pills, or powders, we're good. Love it, Steve. You got it. I love it. Where do the options go for Webinar Jam? Where do the options go for the Webinar Jam? So on Webinar Jam, the best thing to utilize is to use it through your custom pages app. Is that what you're talking about? And on top of that, we're doing some updates on the videos that are going in there. So you'll have the new 15-minute video. We'll have some other videos going in there as well. So there's your next question. I think that we're going to see that within the next 24 to 48 hours. Just had to do some compliance things with it. That's really what it comes up to. Do we expect updated the webinar weekly or on some other schedule? I think as we go, we'll have more and more that get added to the mix so that people can choose different webinars and actually shoot out different webinars to people, or they can choose different ones. There'll be a round robin going on as we're going. Absolutely. So we're going to see that happen. Opt-ins. Yeah, the opt-ins are not there yet. We're going to webinar. Our next phase of Webinar Jam is where the person goes there, they go to your website, to your web page. Now, when they're on your web page and they fill out the webinar jam information, they look at the webinar jam, then when it comes to enrolling, your web page is there. Like you're the one it's attached to your advisor EA, your EA enrollment site. What we're going to do is talking about opt-ins where it's like a lead capture. That's coming. That's not here yet. That's our next phase that'll be coming out. So appreciate that. Let's see. Mandy, hey Tony, can you add these slides to the Google Drive? Yes, I'm going to add last week's holiday prospecting during the holidays. That's going to be added. I'll do that as soon as I get off of here, and I'll do the same thing with this. So all these scripts are there. So appreciate that. Bella, appreciate you being here. Tony, you're amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. Having fun, fantastic info. Love all the approaches. I love them too. And you guys, if you have approaches that you want to see that will add value to the team here, just send them over to me. Send them my way. I'll include them in here, and I'll put your name on them if you send them. You'll be forever embedded in our video and in our slides. So I appreciate that. You have some situations, some stories, whatever it is, feel free to add those in. I appreciate everybody being here. Mandy, thank you. Steve, thank you. Bella, thank you. Everybody have a great day. This is Tony Procopio from New Fairfield, Connecticut. Over and out. We'll talk to you soon. See you on the next one. Thanks for being here.